Excellent. Thank you, Rachel. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Peterson, and I am here with,
Irma Cifontes.
and we are here to present to you your path to licensure, the fall 24 updates for the state of Texas. I am the architecture licensing advisor for Texas for 2023 and 2024. I am at Hosley Lighting, and I'm the architectural lighting consultant over there. And joining me is
Irma Cifontes. I'm also architect licenses advisor for Texas, and I'm a project manager in Stantec that today gave us their offices to give this presentation to you all.
So thank you very much to Stantec for allowing us to have the presentation.
Come on in.
So for the off the bat, if you guys have any questions about anything licensure or anything related, here is the contact information. So save this screenshot, look at it quickly. If you have any questions, there's NCARB customer service, there's the Texas Board of Architectural Examiners, and then there are ALA's architect licensing advisors such as Irma and myself. So to get into it, this is going to provide new material for the presentation. It is going to be covering in brief the information that we covered previously back in March. If you guys are interested in learning more about something that we might have skipped over, we went over it in detail. So if you want to look at the March TXA webinar, check out TXA's YouTube channel at AIA Texas. You can access it by searching on YouTube or scanning the QR code right here. So to start off, what is NCARB? What is the point of NCARB and what's the point of having them? So NCARB is the member organization that organizes and adjudicates the 55 jurisdictions that are NCARB members. 50 states, DC, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Guam, and the North Mariana Islands. These jurisdictions license to practice architecture, and you need to meet the requirements of those jurisdictions in which you want to get licensed. NCARB works closely with its members to standardize the path to licensure. NCARB's main role is to facilitate licensure, and there are three main components of licensure: education, experience, and examination. These three elements come together to show everybody their pathway to licensure, and in order for everybody to be licensed, they must follow this path or a similar path where you need your education, experience, and examination, and that is what we will be covering today. So, first step in earning your license. Because jurisdictions vary across what they require, research and planning are key. First thing you should do is check out the licensing requirement tool on the NCARB website. You can use this tool to view specific jurisdictional requirements, compare jurisdictions, and find contact information for your registration boards. So if you're interested in getting your license in Texas or in Florida or Virginia or Washington, you are able to check this out, review what is needed, and make sure that you have what you need in order to get licensed. So the first element is NAB, the National Accreditation Program. For most jurisdictions, you're going to need a NAB degree in order to pursue licensure in that state. The NAB evaluates architecture programs in the United States to ensure that graduates are prepared with adequate technical and critical thinking skills as needed for their architecture degree. Without a NAB accredited program, you may be limited in the places that you are allowed to practice off-right, as well as there may be additional requirements that you need in order to earn an architecture license and NCARB certification. If you're curious on if you are going into a NAB program or have it, you can check out the NAB school search on their website to review whether or not that you are in a program or are about to pursue a program that falls within the NAB accreditation program. So on that note, I will flip it over to Irma, who will talk about the experience
The
aspect of the AXP.
Okay. Well, the Architectural Experience Program provides a framework to guide you through gaining and recording your professional experience. We want you to get real-world experience to safely and completely handle the scenarios you'll face as an architect. With broad experience areas that reflect the current phases of practice, the AXP prepares you for everything from site design to project management. For more information for the AXP guidelines, you can visit the NCARB's website and download the AXP guidelines. This guide includes steps to complete the program, reporting procedures, training requirements, and overview the tasks that you should understand and be able to perform before becoming licensed. You can also check out NCARB's blog to find the latest information about the AXP. To complete the AXP, you will need to demonstrate that you're able to completely perform the task identified across the 6 experience areas. That, for example, some of the tasks associated with the programming and analysis include determine impact of applicable zoning and development ordinances to determine project constraints. You can use this as a tool to help guide your focus with what areas or activities to work on within your day-to-day work. So basically, you need a minimum of 1,860 hours in the experience setting A, and you must earn a minimum of these hours to complete the AXP. In order to qualify, the experience needs to meet the following: direct supervision by an AXP supervisor licensed as an architect in the US or Canada, work in an organization engaged in the lawful practice of architecture as defined by individual jurisdictions, and your employment must be paid. Unpaid internships are not eligible, doesn't count for this. Then you also have the experience setting O, that are other experience opportunities. And so they are in caps for the amount of experience you can gain under each opportunity. Some will only allow the hours to go into specific areas. More details about the different opportunities eligible for the AXP under experience setting O can be also in the AXP guidelines. So other work experience under licensed professionals, you may also earn up until 1,860 hours for working in any combination of the following: for experience gained in the United States or Canada, direct supervision by an individual licensed as an architect in US or Canadian jurisdiction in an organization not engaged in the practice of architecture, direct supervision by an individual licensed in a US or Canadian jurisdiction as a landscape architect or engineer, practicing as a structural engineer, civil, mechanical, fire protection, or electrical engineer in the field of building construction. For experience gained outside the United States or Canada, direct supervision by an architect not registered in the United States, Canada, engaged in the practice of architecture. We'll talk about this one later. Then the AXP tasks are associated in 6 experience areas, and they are also tied to your exam. This is a summary of the number of tasks and minimum amount of experience hours required for each experience area. To complete the AXP, you will need to document 3,740 hours across the 6 experience areas. The required tasks are designed to span different phases of your early career in architecture. Some are simple, while others may require skills and experience that are developed over time. When you start your record, be sure to submit your experience reports frequently. You must submit experience reports within 8 months in order to receive full AXP credit for your work. Candidates can file reports in periods up until 6 months with a 2-month filing window following the 6 months reporting period. Experience reported beyond this 8-month period will be accepted at reduced value of 50% credit toward the AXP requirements for up to 5 years after the date of the experience. After 5 years, the experience will no longer count toward your AXP. So experience, the reporting experience, you can use it through my NCAR or my XP app. Reporting credit has never been easier than now. With this my AXP mobile app, you can download it from free from the Apple Store or Android.
And if you are pursuing the different path, which is through the AXP portfolio option, which is the option in which you would pursue if you are unable to locate or find the hours, but you are able to document in a PDF image form that over the course of your career, you have been able to competently complete the 96 different tasks that are across the 6 sections. This is mainly for persons who have put their careers on pause for some reason due to career, personal, or economic reasons and are coming back, or have had different instances and things in their life that this would be a better path towards licensure for them. And those who are eligible are those who have at least 2 years of experience from over 5 years ago. If you have a current supervisor who is a licensed architect and is willing to attest to your knowledge and experience, put their reputation on the line for you. And if you are unable to finish documenting the AXP through the standard hour reports. So next, we have our record.
Michael, how does somebody even start to record the AXP hours?
Well, to start, go to ncarb.org, sign up on my NCARB, and you can start recording your hours, finding study material, working with what NCARB provides right off the bat. It's $100 to start your application, and then it's $100 to renew the application every year. One of the best ways to stay on track for earning your license is through starting your NCARB record, especially as soon as you start gaining experience that qualifies for the AXP. So the last element that we are talking about is the examination E. The architect the architect registration examination is a multi-division exam that is covered over 6 parts that uses your knowledge to assess your skills regarding the practice of architecture. The ARE is designed to assess aspects of the architectural practice that affect public health, safety, welfare, as well as an architect's responsibility within the firms, within the profession, as well as managing projects and coordinating the work of other professionals. So just like the AXP program, the ARE divisions are split up into 5 different sections, 6 different sections, each of them with their own number of questions and length of examination. To simplify the path, this will help you connect your real world experiences to your exam preparation. And keep in mind that each jurisdiction sets its own rules regarding when you are eligible to take the ARE exams. To learn what you need to do in a specific jurisdiction, visit the NCARB's jurisdiction requirements page. When you're ready to test, you'll find everything you need and prepare for the ARE on ncarb.org. And as it relates to the state of Texas, you can start taking the exams as soon as you have a NAB accredited degree and 6 months of experience. So what will the exam format look like? Every exam is going to appear in the same method. You arrive early to set up, to log in, to sign in for your exam, whether or not that is online or in person. During the test, there are discrete items, which are the questions that are in short multiple choice, visual questions, and questions that take up the first 3/4 of the exam. And then there are case study items, which may look at real life or fictionalized scenarios where you're given information and you need to determine whether or not the questions based on the material are correct or incorrect. Then finally, at the end of the test, there's the conclusion, sign up, clean out, and it is during that time that the video of your exams are sent to NCARB for review to make sure that if you got a likely passing score, that you did so honestly. The ARE policies include the eligibility, and that follows the jurisdictional requirements. When you take the ARE, it's either in person delivered by PSI or online. The cost for each exam is $250, which is an increase that happened over the summer. And in the unlikely event that somebody fails in a division, you can take that test 60 days after you took it the first time. And you are allowed to take up to 3 tests every running year. This is covered in the previous webinar, so I'm going to gloss over it real quickly. NCARB has created additional policies such as English second language, which allows 20% extra time. And if you take the test in person, you may have a word-to-word translation dictionary to help you on the exam. And that is only valid for in-person tests. Additional notes that were covered in the previous webinar include that the rolling clock is no longer an NCARB requirement. Some states have it in their legislation. Texas, as of 1 year ago, has removed it. So if you are getting your license in Texas, any test that you passed, no matter what, for ARE 5.0, no matter when, are valid.
Okay, so the NCARB works regularly with our consultants and hundreds of volunteers architects to ensure the architect exam aligns with the exam best practices and current architectural practices. As a part of our ongoing efforts to improve the ARE, we're implementing 2 updates that went already in effect on February 27. And one is related to building codes. And now we're using the 2021 International Code Council. And also they eliminated the quantitative fill in the blanks. So that's no longer in the exam.
So if you have math questions, they are going to be multiple choice. You no longer need to type in the answers.
Which is great. The ARE guidelines include everything you need to know about the exam policies, procedures, and content, whether you are testing online or in person. This is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about taking the ARE. Within the guidelines, NCARB has provided candidates a matrix of reference books that are used by volunteer architect item writers to author the ARE items. Many resources listed have overlapping content, so we advise the candidates that do not need to read every book on the list, but these books are a great starting point for beginning to prepare for the ARE. And then to ensure that all candidates have access to affordable, high-quality study materials, we have created a full-length, fully scored practice exam for each division of the ARE. The practice exams were written and developed the same way that our real exams are developed. Volunteer architects collaborate to develop questions, also called items, that test on the objectives allotted in the ARE guidelines. Candidates can take these practice exams into modes. Test mode mimics the experience you will have during the real appointment and provide a score report afterward. And then the practice mode provides the correct answer and rationale behind each item as you go and provides a score report afterward. The practice exams are available for free to all candidates with an active NCARB record and active exam eligibilities. Candidates can find the practice exam by logging into their NCARB record, navigating the exams tab, and going to your practice exam dashboard. There's also a demo exam. And then NCARB provides a range of the resources to help guide and prepare you to enter the profession. towards licensure that includes the AR, ARE 5.0 community, test prep videos, ARE demonstration exam. This one has 75 questions that illustrate the style, navigation, break structure, and experience candidates can expect from delivered software. This demo is available also to everyone for free in the NCARB org. And you can visit the website to check out the study materials or ask experts online. Also, contracts are covered in the exam. The ARE is based on the most recent AIA contracts documents, which are available for free in the AIA website. For complete list of AIA documents covered on the ARE, direct candidates to reference matrix located at the end of the ARE guidelines. Also, codes covered on the exam, the ARE is based on the 2021 International Building Code and also reference other 2021 ICC codes as well as reference standards. The ARE guidelines list all applicable building codes and contracts covered in the ARE.
So each division, in short, is $250. This includes retakes. If anybody remembers 2 years ago, you used to be able to reschedule the test as many times as you wanted up until a certain window. I myself personally abused that system, and they changed it because of me, because of us, to where now your first reschedule is free, your second costs $50, and your third and onwards cost $100. So this may seem intimidating, but it will give you that little push, that little bump, that little pressure to make sure that you save money by taking the exam. If you need to cancel your exam, that's $100, which if for some, you can pursue that route just in case you need to just cancel it, reschedule it, you don't have it. So it's better than paying and not being able to actually use it. You are unfortunately not allowed to reschedule your test within 4 business days of the exam date. So if you have your test set for Saturday, be aware by Monday, you should know whether or not you're going to take it or not. So we have now spoken about the education, examination, and experience aspect. Now we're going to move quickly into the NCARB certificate aspect. So congratulations, after you have received your first license, it does not mean you are licensed to practice in a different jurisdiction. You can't just take your Texas license to Oklahoma and say, I'm an architect, let me work here. Each jurisdiction is different. You must be licensed in each jurisdiction where you seek to practice. The most common and widely accepted means of gaining reciprocity between states for licensure is through the NCARB certificate. The NCARB certificate certifies that you have met the national standards for eligibility for licensure and recommends that you be registered as an architect. Because each of the states has different jurisdictions and have varying requirements, seeking licensure in additional jurisdictions is often faster or easier when you are NCARB certified. So in short, it streamlines the process, it makes it easier. So the standard way that one would pursue the NCARB certificate is through education, the receipt of a degree from a NAT accredited program, experience, you complete the AXP program, the examination, you complete your AREs successfully. Then you get your license, and then you may apply for your NCARB certification. But that is not the only method to get your license. There's the educational additional pathway, such as for those with a non-professional degree, which we were asked about. This path to NCARB certificate is for U.S. architects who became licensed in a jurisdiction that does not require a degree from a NAB accredited program. Architects must register and be in good standing for a minimum of 3 years in that program before they get their NCARB certificate. In addition, you'll need to submit at least 2 times the experience needed for AXP. So keep in mind, not all jurisdictions will accept an application with the NCARB certificate through this path. but it is an option. A similar pathway is the education additional pathway, which requires the use of the ESA. ESA stands for the Education Evaluation Services for Architects, and is often used for architects or potential architects that have had their education outside the United States that uses a language other than English. This is the program that you use to make sure that your education program hit all the points needed as recognized by NAB to pursue a architecture education in America. If a candidate has anything other than a bachelor's degree in an architecture-related program and gains 64 credit hours or less, they will need to complete the entire NCARB certificate portfolio. So again, keep in mind, not all jurisdictions accept application with the NCARB certificate through this method. We have received many questions about international degrees or foreign education, such as what are the requirements to apply for foreign educated, experienced, foreign licensed applicants? For the foreign education path to the NCARB certificate, this path is works in order to find those with foreign education to get their ESA and make up any deficiencies as identified through NCARB. Then it is the standard path where candidates must complete the AXP and the ARE to become licensed and certified. Again, every jurisdiction is different. Some may accept this, some may not. Moving on to the foreign architect credential. This path is for those who are foreign architects and hold and maintain the foreign credential. To be eligible for this additional path, foreign architects must meet the following requirements. Education must have a degree from an accredited, validated, officially recognized architecture program that leads to registration for the credential in the foreign country. Registration, they must also hold the credential of a licensed architect in the foreign country that has a formal record-keeping mechanism for disciplinary actions in the practice of architecture. Then, candidates must complete the AXP and ARE to become certified. The candidates will then use the NCARB certificate to get their first US license. So keep in mind that not all jurisdictions will allow this, and this would be the path where you gain your NCARB certificate before you gain your architect license. We received some questions about IPAL. IPAL is the integrated path to architecture licensure. Unfortunately, neither Irma nor I participated in the IPAL program, so we cannot give any direct insight on it. However, Texas A&M University has 41 students currently in the program. If you are interested in learning more about IPAL program directly from the students or the organization, we recommend you reach out. And for those curious, IPAL integrates education, experience, and examinations into the academic program. So by the time that you graduate, you will have had the ability to complete your courses, the education aspect. You will have been able to have the opportunity to complete your AXP hours, and you will have had the opportunity to take at least all 6 exams at least once, all before you graduate. There's many opportunities and benefits to this. Do your research to see if this is something that is of interest to you or of benefit to you. All right, and now that is a recap of the previous webinar that we went over, and now into the other stuff. The content that we wanted to focus on is that there are AXP opportunities that you might not have known of that are outside of the office. I'll let Irma start on this one.
So, Michael, did you know that when visiting with your mentor a construction site, you can get AXP hours?
Even if I don't work for them, I can gain those hours outside of work?
Yes, you can.
That is awesome. Irma, did you know that if you are participating in a community-based design or collaboration through AIA or NOMA, CSI, or any effort like that, you can count those hours?
I didn't know about that.
So there are a myriad of ways for you to get hours outside of work. for your AXP program. You can find this all in detail in the AXP guidelines, but the main point of this is to show that you can go to a site visit with AIA, you can go to a site visit with your mentor, you can go get a CSI certificate, you can participate in a design competition. Heck, Irma, did you know that if you have a lunch and learn that's an AIA HSW, you can get credits for those?
I didn't know that about. That's great. So I
Yeah,
can invite more people for the lunch and learns, even they are
exactly.
not registered or licensed.
Exactly. So you can collect up to 20 hours in each section, up to 120 hours. So anybody who is at an architecture firm that allows them to have lunch and learns regularly, if they're HSW and if you have an active AIA membership, you can count hours towards your AXP program, which can be counted outside of the office. But that is one of the examples that you can get hours outside of the office. Some other things that we found while compiling this presentation. Irma, did you know that when you and I took Al Hernandez out for dinner for 5 hours, that we gained AXP hours?
I didn't know about that.
So that one is under the develop and maintain effective and productive relationships with clients. So if you attend anything with a client to maintain a good relationship with them, you go with a coworker to meet with a client over lunch, over a happy hour, bowling, anything outside of the typical work setting, you can gain those hours. Those fall under practice management. Just like Irma, did you enjoy that happy hour we went to last night?
It was great. Happy hour.
Yep.
Nice construction networking.
So we were there for 2 hours, along with other design professionals from Gensler, HOK, Stantec, Hosley, anything and everybody. Those, we got 2 hours into our practice management. So as long as you participated, you're a representative of your company, participating in those, you got practice hours. Then additionally, if we look at project management, we can see that if you wanted to collaborate and work with members of an organization like a food forest or community garden, and you have your mentor approve it, the emails that you spent writing at work for those or in regards to your work or about the food forest, about the garden, about the community, whatever, you can count those. So additional ones we found include programming and analysis. If you went and participated in a community meeting about a new construction project or a cap and stitch project happening in your neighborhood, and you took notes, that counts towards gathering information about community concerns and issues. If you helped out a landscape architect for theirs, you can count those time and hours as well. Let's see. So Irma, remember how we went and did the lunch and learn about sustainability?
Yes.
Where would we were there for an hour. Do I get an AXP hour for that?
Yes, you can have it. You got a learning experience about some sustainability items.
And what section would I put that under?
In programming and analysis,
Fantastic. And then I remember you and I went to that AIA event where you presented your project as a little showcase, like a mini critique. How long did that take?
an hour or two.
Well, did you know you got an hour for your AXP program in project and planning design as well?
Oh, that's great. I didn't know this many options you had to further your learning experience in AXP hours.
So as long as it relates to your education, your programming, even if you go to a manufacturer's factory tour, go and see some new couches being built, lights being fabricated, carpet being made. As long as that's documented and you go out and you're recommending, oh, we're going to use that carpet on this project, or we're going to go look at this light for this project, or anything where you are selecting the furniture, fixtures, or equipments to meet the needs of a project, that counts. So it's not just the hour that you spent looking through to find the perfect couch from that factory you visited. That 1 hour that you were in the factory can also count. So we have left plenty of time for questions and answers. And when we set up this webinar, we asked what kind of things did people want to know about, which is where a lot of those blue text bubbles were shown throughout this presentation. Those that did not have distinct elements that we could directly speak to, we highlighted here. And first one is the best prep for recent graduates who want to become licensed. How do you pace yourself, and what goals do you set early on to not fall behind? I'll start with this, saying that not everybody has the same path, same timeline, but kudos to everybody who can set the goals and stay on top of them. For the best advice for recent graduates, I would recommend to research what you need to do in order to be licensed. What do you need? Do you need to study? Do you know what materials you need to study for? Work with finding your mentor or supervisor in your firm to help you complete the tasks rather than just sign off on hours.
Yeah, then the other is the general advice that, I mean, there are many things that you can consider, but once you set up your NCAR record, start to record your hours and focus on get the real experience, that is also help you to go through your exams. Your exams, each one of them are different topics related to professional development in your real life work. So learn your contracts, learn your codes, and read the books that NCAR recommend, and also set up a schedule for each exam. Try to set up goals, long-term goals and short-term goals. The short-term will be scheduling one exam, and the long-term will be like, when do you want to have them done? Usually, or sometimes it's not going to be as you plan it, but be mindful that failing an exam means just that you are getting more prepared for the next one. So failing an exam is just that you're studying and getting ready for the pass.
So if you take the exam and your score report says that you got at least a 50%, that's fantastic. There's only a little bit left that you have to do to pass. So once you're taking the practice exams, or when you hit 50% consistently in any activities that you're doing to study, you are on the path to be prepared. And that's when you, about the general time frame that you will be feeling prepared for the exams. Our next question is how to get through the exams one after the other, and what happens after you pass. To get through the exams is study, take them. The first one is the hardest because it's not in English, it's American legalese. It tricks you up a little bit in the sense that you have to understand what they're asking, and every test afterwards gets a little bit easier as you understand how the test is formatted. But then Irma, what happens after you pass all your exams?
Well, after you pass all your exams in Texas, you're going to receive maybe 15 days after an email from the Texas Board Examiners asking to set up an appointment to verify your fingerprints, picture, and to complete a security process that will lead to generate your Texas certificate as an architect. You will receive first a provisional one because the final one takes time. It's signed by several people around the state. So your certificate will go in different hands until arrive to you. But meanwhile, you receive your number and you can start to create your digital seal or your real stamp to stamp your plans.
And then we had a question that was PCM and PJM. I just wanted to highlight that and say for PCM and PJM, that's practice management, project management. Those are the earlier tests in the time frame. And those are the first ones many take because it relates specifically to managing a firm and managing a team. And then we also had a few additional questions specifically related to document translation. For document translation, this is definitely important for those who are foreign architects or foreign educated. For translating documents, they must be translated to English. NCARB has some specific methods in which they require you to produce these translation documents, including verified and sealed forms. It must have direct translations, and the people that you can hire to do that, it depends on the locale, their location, your location, and that must be a certified person. So you could not, unfortunately, have your aunt who is bilingual translate that for you. It must be through a service. It must have somebody who has a name, phone number, email, somebody who has contact information that can be called up and asked about the veracity of their translations. Second question that we had that popped out at us included, I have a Bachelor of Science in Architecture, and I want to know if I can take the exams without having the 5-year degree. Yes, you can, just not in Texas. There are some states like Wisconsin and Arizona in which you are able to have your first licensure or take your exams in that area if you don't have the 5-year degree. The other option that you have if you don't have the 5-year degree is to do the 4+2. 4 years in undergrad that is not NAP certified, and then a 2-year master's program that is certified. So those would be the ways that somebody without a 5-year degree would be able to take the exams. I'm going to skip 3 and go straight to 4, work experience, but you're missing your education. Unfortunately, you need to have the 3 E's as far as this presentation goes. You need to have education or proof of education. You need to have your work experience or proof of it, somebody to vouch for you, and you need to pass your exams. So if you're missing your education, your options are a little bit limited in what you can do. The best that you should try to do is research the area in which you want to be licensed and figure out from there whether or not you will be able to complete your license in an adjacent state or an adjacent territory and transfer that jurisdiction. But if you're missing education, I apologize, you might be a little bit up the river. And then going back to 3, very bold statement from one of those who asked, I've been working in the field for more than 25 years. I have my own firm, but have never completed any of those steps towards licensure. Well, FYI, in the state of Texas, architect is a protected title. Whether or not if you need to use an architect in your projects is laid out on TBAE, but then using architect as a protected title is very important and is within the Texas Board of Architectural Examiners and its legal code. So, for example, if I say I'm an architect, on paper, I get in trouble because I am not an architect. But Irma absolutely can. She can say up, down, left, right, all around the state of Texas that she is a licensed architect. But if she goes to Louisiana, what happens, Irma?
I cannot say that I'm an architect.
But you can say you're an architect that is licensed in Texas.
Yeah, correct.
And this is a very important concept with architect as a protected title. Architects are just like engineers, doctors, lawyers. that anybody who reports or files a complaint about them abusing their license or abusing the path, this is important. If you hear of somebody who is cheating or calling themselves an architectural designer when they don't have a license, or calling themselves the ability to do architecture without being licensed, how would you feel if your doctor let his buddy, another doctor, cheat on an exam or cheat or lie to get there? What if that was your doctor that cheated? Would you be okay with that? What about your lawyer? Irma, would you feel comfortable with a lawyer that is letting other lawyers cheat the system?
No, not at all.
So it's incumbent upon us in the architecture profession to make sure that we keep the trust of the public, keep the trust of other architects, keep the trust between each other, that if you're calling yourself an architect, you're an architect. I can say it at parties all day long, but the moment that I put it to paper, that gets people in trouble. So be aware, please make sure that if you call yourself an architect or you have architect and what you're doing architectural, just make sure that you comply with guidelines so you don't get in trouble. And finally, to wrap it up before the Q&A, who are Irma and I? What are we? Irma, do you want to tell everybody what we are?
Well, we're architects licensing advisors in the state of Texas, and anyone can be an architect licensing advisor. Some are appointed by universities, student organizations, and local American Institute of Architects, AIA chapters, while other volunteers join to represent their firm organization or simply to help advance the profession. So being licensed to practice architecture is suggested, but not required to be a licensing advisor. Just want to facilitate the information and to the path of licensure.
And if you have any questions on how to be a architect licensing advisor, or if you want to have one at your office, your firm, your local chapter, reach out. They will be able to help give you some insight on what you need to do or the process in general. All right, so we are now at the question and answer section. So we are going to pop open the chat where for if anybody wants to ask any questions, and we will do our best to answer. Right. So yeah, scroll down. All right. So Rachel, are the Q&A on, or is everybody perfectly answered in questions? Oh, we have a question across the table. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm having a lot of difficulty getting my transcripts sent over. Do you all have any like advice or recommendations? I also apologize, I did have a client meeting.
No problem. So you requested to your university to report to NCARB, and they haven't?
So do you do it through NCARB? Because I like did the thing where I printed out the form and I sent it to the university and they're like, we're not accepting this.
Oh, I understand where you're coming from. What my path was, I had from just my university website, I could download my transcript to show that I've taken the classes.
Okay.
And sent that to NCARB. So if you don't have a portal in order to do that, it's probably just easy to ask your university, hi, can you please send me my transcript?
Yeah.
And if there's a form for them to do that, follow that. But yeah, just reach out to their career services or the admin and try to find, I just need a copy of my transcript.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, and you
Being so
email from
stingy.
yourself to NCARB.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll try that. I'm about to follow a form now to get access to the online portal for my undergrad.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Best of luck.
It's so tricky.
All right. So I mentioned earlier a 4+2. Are there any master's programs that are 1 year? There might be, but none that I am directly aware of off the top of my head. Irma, do you know of any?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I tried to look that one, but the master programs that are 1 year, if you're trying to do the 4+2, it won't be accepted by NCAP. The thing you need to review first are the ones that are accredited. And then if you want to finish in 1 year, maybe you may need to do a lot of credits together. But I'm not aware of 1 year currently.
So there may be some out there off the top of our heads. We do not know of any.
Can I
Jeff?
chime in really quickly?
Absolutely. Audio is awesome.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
And Waldo, very quickly. I agree with what you are saying. I believe Louisiana Tech, Prairie Review A&M, there are a few that have a 4+1. The 4 includes summers and other things. So you have to check if you already did your 4-year bachelor's. You have to check how could you enter into that +1. But I know some people in our office here in Plano, we have someone that graduated with a 4+1 or 4+1.5 from Louisiana Tech, and I believe Prairie View A&M also has something like that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Oswaldo. All right. Jennifer Lopez asked, is there a place online to see which activities can be enrolled as AXP hours? Yes, it is called the AXP Guidelines. So if you just go online to ncarb.org, check out the AXP Guidelines, you can read, review, and check out which programs or tasks, activities can count. The reason why we brought up them earlier with, did you know that if you go on a site visit with AIA, you can count those? Or did you know that if you're AIA continuing education, you sit in for an HSW and you have an AIA membership, you can get those hours? Everything is in the AXP guidelines. We decided to break this part out and focus on this because there are situations that people might not have been at all aware of, like the develop and maintain effective and productive relationships with clients. Not very many people know that if, let's assume you're an intern and you go out with your boss to a client and play and go bowling with them, that counts. So it's just read what's on there and understand it. That is a little bit dense since it looks like this. However, if you read into it, understand it, that's where the activities that you can gain hours through the AXP program that are essentially outside of the office, you can familiarize yourself with those. Are you allowed to visit the testing facility before scheduled tests to familiarize yourself? Yes, you can. You just can only go in the lobby.
Yeah, you can check how that is, but basically, yeah, you will be able to test the center the day you are taking the exam.
All right. Do you know of any master's programs that are fully online? I am not.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. Maybe look through NCAR first, or do the opposite. If you find something online, then check on NCAR if it's accredited or not, if it's worth it to do it. I mean, if NCAR is gonna take it.
Okay. All right. Milton has asked if he has a BA in construction management and he's worked for an architecture firm for 4 years, plus 6 years of general contracting experience. What is the best path for me. The best path for you might be either the typical path where you may need to get that 2-year degree, or go to a program or a jurisdiction that accepts the construction management degree as appropriate background. If I read this correctly, if you've been at your architecture firm for 4 years, you can count 8 months, and then the other 3 years and 4 months at half credit towards your licensure, which will get you close if every single hour was an hour that you could count. And then anything after 5 years, which would be half of that general contractor experience, that you can count those hours as long as you worked under somebody that is qualified in the program. So the education alternative additional pathway, if Wisconsin or Arizona accepts your construction management degree, you can absolutely pursue that path. But that would be on you to research and check with the registration boards of those states to verify. I'm told Prairie View A&M University has a 1-year plan. Hello, Nadi. Nadi asks, does my architecture license from India transfer here? No, it does not, Nadi. However, you can pursue the foreign architect credential path, which covers your education, but you will still need to do the experience and the examination portion of the licensure. So in the sense of India transfer to America, no. And there is no national license for architects in America, only jurisdiction to jurisdiction, state to state. All right.
So college 4 years and university 3 years from different country. Kazakhstan are counting as 4+2. No, you may need to do an extra study here. I'm originally from Venezuela, and my bachelor degree is from Venezuela. I'm registering there too with a 5-year degree, but my easiest path to complete the path to licensure was to do a master here in US accredited by NCARB. And then that counted my full education, and that allowed me to do some experience hours and then the examination. But yeah, no.
So directly off the bat, it may not count, but check to see if the ESA, review the ESA with NCARB, follow that path. They will tell you, yes, it counts as equal as 4.2, or no, you need to do this.
Yeah, they will ask to submit the program, translate the program in English, and then review if you need more experience or more study. And then, so they will give you, the first thing is to contact NCARB. And from there, see what are your requirements per your university and the studies you have done.
All right. Yes, Paula, I'm hopefully going to see you at the next meeting for AIA Austin. All right. Milton, recent graduates, how long does it typically take to earn enough hours to be able to take the tests so I can become licensed? I just started working 6 months ago. In the state of Texas, you have 2 more months of experience in that you need to record in your AXP program before you can start taking those tests.
So keep recording.
Yep, keep recording, and 2 months from now, you will be able to start taking those tests, assuming that you are taking those in Texas. All right. Rika.
Yeah, Rika. I have a license from India and work experience of 5 years. Apart from that, I'm working as a designer from the last couple of years with a construction company in USA, which have their own design department, but not a licensed architect. Will these work hours with construction company be counted?
Yes, they can count, and they would count, or I'm sorry, in regards to the USA project, as long as you are working under a licensed professional, yes, you can count up to 1,860 of those hours. So, and that will be a maximum total. The other half, or the other 1,800, and if I'm doing the math right, 80 hours will
Yeah.
have to be from the A experience setting, or the architect setting.
That needs a registered architect.
Do your hours expire within a time period? No, your hours do not expire ever.
Yeah, once you complete your AXP hours, you completed that part. So it's like your bachelor degree won't expire. You finalize your first step, that is your education. Then once you submit your AXP hours and they are fully done, they don't expire. But try to take the exams as soon as you finish them, because the way the AXP are set up is as a part also of knowledge for your exams. So
Excellent. And then I think I skipped answering last portion of a previous question about how long would it take to get the hours needed. 3,700 hours is about 1.8 years of work, but that would be assuming that every single hour of an 8-hour day, 40-hour week qualifies for AXP. If you spent 5 hours working in Revit on construction drawings, you count 5 of those hours into your project documentation and development section. However, if you spend 3 hours just researching online how to draw a wall or in Revit, or how to use a software, that doesn't count. That's not in one of the requirements or the tasks that is within any of the programs. So you need, every year you work about 2,000 hours. So maximum, if every hour is completed, you can get your license within 2 years of starting your AXP program. All right, and then Rika has asked again, if you are not working under a licensed architect, what should your approach be? Your approach most likely should be to, if you are able to, I do understand some people work with visas or on visas. Your best approach would be to fulfill those hours under a licensed architect. Whether that be through freelancing with someone or part-time with someone. Experience setting O only can give you half. So if you're not working under an American licensed architect, the most you can gain is 49.9% of the total hours you need for AXP. So
yeah, you need to try to find somebody who's licensed you can go work with, if you can switch work, and then that will help you to complete your AXP hours. But you can start to register these ones, open your NCAR record, send your transcript to NCAR from India, see if you need to complete more studies in architecture, and then you can complete the other portion of the AXP experience.
Can you, this is a great question that I can nerd out over. Can you be licensed architect while working on a visa, or do you have to be a citizen?
You need to be at least resident. You have at least to have green card and in order to do that one.
Yes. However, if you're on visa and you are a critical and important part of your firm, there are multiple ways that you can fulfill visas, that you can apply for visas that allow them to state that you are a unique individual, that we need them. And it's for a professional visa where there is no equal. So they need you and they will try to qualify you through that visa. So yes, I worked with somebody who is in Dallas, who is a licensed architect, and they are on visa here from Bangladesh. So it is absolutely possible. They are a resident here, but they are still, I guess, reliant on the visa. Ume asks, can you briefly share your licensure journey? Well, if you answer that, I'll prep the next one.
Okay, yeah. In my case, I did my 5 years architecture degree in Venezuela, and I worked in there for a period of time. Then when I moved to US, I contacted NCAR to see what were my options, and they provide me all this information that we're seeing today online. But I decided I think that my fast way to get into the exams was taking the master degree, because there was one time they needed to grab all the transcripts from my university in Venezuela, and that takes time to review. And then after they take that time to review all your program, all the items you study, then they come back to you and say, hey, you need to go back and, let's say, study sustainability or study something that is important in the NCAR program. So I decided to do not wait for the review. I did the master accredited for NCAR, and then with that, I did my own experiences with my work experience in Venezuela, and then I got another half here of work experience in the US, and that allowed me to start to take the exams. I took all the exams and then got registered also here in US, and that's my way to get licensed here in US.
Excellent. And my journey towards licensure is that I did the 4+2 program at the University of Virginia. And in between the 4 and the 2, I worked for 3 years across Virginia, went to grad school, graduated during COVID, worked in Virginia, and then moved out to Texas with my wife since she was here on visa. And I continued to work in architecture until about a year ago, where I switched back to lighting, to where now I help architects specifically with lighting on all their projects and everything in the background while I'm taking my exams for licensure. Jason asks, he is a recent graduate, already having around 1,500 AXP hours from internships. Would you still need to wait 6 months after employment, after graduation, to be eligible to begin taking the ARE? Jason, you are able to start taking the AREs in Texas after you have graduated, after you have at least 960 hours recorded in your AXP program. So yes, you may start taking your AREs right now if you wish. It is cumulative of your experience hours recorded, rather than you have been employed from January to July. I will note that my previous state of Virginia did require 2 years, if not 3, of employment before you could take those exams or finish those exams. So based on your state, your jurisdiction is the best way to check to see if you're eligible to take those AREs. All right.
So then Cassie is asking, she is 5-year accredited degree from New York and almost done with her AXP hours. How long do I have till I pass all of them once I start taking them?
Good news. You have essentially until 2037. NCARB has rolled out something called exam plus 1 score validity. So if you took your ARE 4.0 exams and transitioned into 5.0, all of those exams are good and valid from 4.0 into 5.0 until 6.0 is released. Once 6.0 is released, exam 4.0 scores do not count. And the absolute earliest that anything that NCARB could even consider for the next exam would be 2027, when there is a new updated release of the AIA contract documents, which happens every 7 years on the year that ends with 7. So you're able to, any exam that you pass now will be valid for, assuming nothing happens at NCARB for at least another dozen years. There's no more rolling clock. You no longer have to be worried about it.
Yeah, so if you are almost done with your AXP hours, then you can start to take your exams with a certain pace, but don't worry about it.
All right. So that looks like the end of it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This meeting will be uploaded to the AIA Texas YouTube channel later this week. If you want to review, you can check out TXA's YouTube channel at AIA Texas on YouTube, and you can scan this QR code right now to go review what we discussed in depth back in March, which we condensed down to about 20 minutes this time. So if you are interested in looking and reviewing more about anything, or if we didn't cover anything that is neither in this webinar or the last, please feel free to reach out. Our contact information is here. We hope that you have had a great time listening to us talk about how wonderful it is to become a licensed architect and the path to do it. And on that note, Irma, is there anything else?
Yeah, feel free to contact us if you have more questions, if you want something else to be clarified. And this is an open invitation to start your path or continue your path and get registered. We want registered architects in Texas.
Yep. So we look forward to seeing anybody and everybody who is going to join us at the TXA conference. If anybody would like an ALA to talk with your firm, your chapter, please feel free to reach out to Rachel Cooper at TXA. She will help coordinate and line up all of that to make sure that if I'm close, I can come say hi. If Irma's close, she'll come say hi. Or like last week, bring me in to hang out with one of the universities where NCARB directly spoke with them all the way from DC. So we're here to help. We hope that this has been helpful, and we hope everybody has a terrific rest of their Tuesday.
So thank you all for joining.